My name is Lisa, and I live with my parents and my older sister Katura, making us a family of four. My parents have always showered Katura with love and care. On the other hand, I've been left to my own devices, which actually allowed my independence to flourish. As soon as I became a high school student, I started working part-time jobs. I've lived my life using my parents and Katura as examples of what not to do. Hey, Katura, did you take the clothes I bought recently?
Eh? Weren't you buying them for me anyway? I was just telling Mom and Dad that I really wanted that dress.
I don't know anything about that, and it's none of my business. But anyway, I want that dress back immediately.
I tried it on, but it didn't look the way I imagined, so I already sold it on a flea market app. And I used the money to help pay for this outfit I'm wearing now.
Katura always treated my belongings as if they were her own. Eventually, the time came for me to start thinking about my future path. I couldn't rely on my family, nor did I want to. With that in mind, I decided to consult with my manager at work. So I'm in this situation and wondering if there's a good way to handle it.
I see. What do you ultimately want to do, Lisa?
I'm totally fine not going to college. I just want to move out of my parents' house for starters. If I want to study more, I can always go to school as an adult.
Alright, got it. If you're interested, I can introduce you to a company that provides employee housing. Of course, only if you like the idea.
What? There are places with employee housing.
Sure, I have to repay Lisa, who has always worked so diligently.
Since my family never asked about my future plans, I decided to find a job. As I was about to graduate high school and leave my family home.
Huh. So leaving without saying anything means you're cutting ties with us? If that's the case, don't come back asking for living expenses or anything, okay?
I do plan to cut ties, but there's no way I'd come back for that reason. Just tell them, thanks for raising me or something. That's all. Thus, I moved out of my family home and started living in the dormitory of a company owned by the manager's acquaintance. Although everything was new and challenging at first, with the help of those around me, I was able to work smoothly. Several years into my career, I was living with my fiancé, Warren, but, hey, Warren. I think we need to have a serious talk about our future.
Can we do that some other time? I'm watching TV right now.
You said that last time. We never make any progress, do we?
We're together, so any time is a good time for that talk, right?
Recently, Warren has been distant and indifferent. Whenever I try to talk about the future, his responses are non-committal. I was starting to wonder what Warren's intentions were regarding our future. Then, one day, I found a note on the front door. Warren chose me. Better luck next time. Katura. I couldn't get in touch with Warren. Reluctantly, I unblocked Katura's number and called her. Katura? About the note on the door. What do you mean by that?
You just found it? You're so slow. What do you mean, what do I mean? It means exactly what it says.
I haven't told Mom, Dad, or obviously you that Warren and I were engaged. How did you know? Where did you meet Warren?
I was shopping, and I just happened to see you and Warren on a date. Seeing you so happy made me upset.
What are you talking about? Being upset over such a thing?
Well, I just felt that way, so it can't be helped, right?
It can't be helped.
Anyway, it's clear without much thought. I'm overwhelmingly more attractive than you, right? So I thought I needed to teach you that lesson.
What? What are you even saying? I'm listening seriously.
I'm dead serious too. It's absurd for someone at your level to be with such a wonderful man.
What's absurd is what you're doing. Normal people don't do this.
I'm not like other women, my normal is on a different level. Now you understand how attractive I am, right?
I'm listening seriously.
I'm dead serious too. So, don't interfere with me and Warren anymore.
I understood why Warren had been so distant. However, the moment I found out that the other party was Katura, my feelings for Warren cooled rapidly. Since I was the original tenant of the room, I disposed of all of Warren's belongings, which he couldn't be contacted for. I figured he would be the one facing difficulties in the future. With that thought, I moved on, and 2 years later.
Oh dear, you still seem to be living that detached life, aren't you? But knowing you, Lisa, you must have saved up quite a bit.
Lisa, lend us some money. You moved out so early. You haven't contributed to the house at all, have you? Since you haven't sent any money home, it's only natural you should now.
Excuse me? What do you want? Dropping by all of a sudden.
Warren got into debt with some dangerous people. I've been through so much trouble because of it.
And what does that have to do with me?
Keturah said she was running away, so we sold the house and moved with her.
We couldn't bear the thought of living away from our dear Keturah.
Overprotectiveness to that extent might actually be impressive. Well, it has nothing to do with me. Warren had a bit of a spending problem. When we lived together, I would keep an eye on him and prevent his wasteful spending. So, there were no issues with how we managed money at that time. However, Keturah and my parents only learned of his spending habits after accruing a significant amount of debt. As I listened to their story in disbelief.
You're Lisa's former family. I have no idea what you've been saying, but Lisa has nothing to do with you now, so please leave.
That's right. I've cut ties with my family, so don't bother me.
Ha! You're my sister, so you should at least pay off the debt.
Exactly. You can't just decide to cut ties with your family. We won't allow it.
That's right, Lisa. Do you think your childish selfishness will be tolerated?
This isn't about being selfish or not. You should think about the reasons yourself.
Hey Lisa, don't get cocky. And who's that guy?
Please help me.
Hey, wait a minute. After I scolded you for secretly using my savings of 15 million yen, haven't you learned your lesson yet?
Eek.
And you all. I know you're accomplices in this. Really? What are you doing teaming up with such foolish women and foolish parents?
Warren.
Don't be so mad, Mom.
She's going to be my mother-in-law, so it's natural for her to pay me.
Exactly. Even if she's a mother-in-law, a parent should naturally support their daughter.
Our dear daughter is in trouble. We should help. Keturah is not wrong.
Basically, I got into this mess because I followed Keturah's plan. This whole situation is all your fault.
Just as Keturah and my parents showed up unexpectedly, Warren barged in partway through the conversation. And then Warren's mother followed him to our place. It seemed like Keturah had caused some trouble, and while Warren was panicking, he was also very angry. Seeing his reaction, my parents said,
If you're going to say that, you shouldn't have gone along with Keturah's proposal from the start. After all, it was Warren who failed, wasn't it? So neither Keturah nor we are to blame for anything.
That's right. It's his own fault. To act as if Keturah is to blame. Madam, we cannot accept such words from you.
Don't spout such nonsense, you fools. Then explain why my savings are gone. 15 million yen. Explain that.
Don't start a commotion in front of our house. Mrs. Warren, or rather, Warren's mother, please leave the rest to me.
To you.
Ugh. What can a man who's just Lisa's husband possibly do?
Right. Are you saying you're going to pay off all the debt? And what, give 15 million yen to my mom while you're at it?
Noah is a lawyer. And by the way, he's been recording our entire conversation.
Huh. Recording. Why would you do that? Delete it.
Why would I delete important evidence? I'll also be filing for damages, just so you know.
Ha! Statute of limitations. You can't claim damages now. I owe you nothing.
Really, Lisa? To think you'd become such a greedy person.
Exactly. I don't recall raising a daughter who'd say such things. Right? It's past the statute of limitations.
Huh? The statute of limitations is 3 years, so there's plenty of time left. Besides, Keturah has kindly explained her relationship with Warren to Lisa herself. This situation itself serves as evidence, so you better be prepared.
It's not past the statute of limitations.
Upon seeing my parents defiantly respond to Warren's angry mother, Noah suggested they leave everything to him. In fact, after breaking up with Warren, I had met and married Noah, who is a lawyer. Meanwhile, Warren was momentarily dumbfounded upon learning that the statute of limitations for filing for damages had not yet expired.
You know, this isn't the time to be zoning out, right? I mentioned before, I'm a lawyer. Do you understand? You're making a fuss about money in front of a lawyer. What kind of situation do you think this is?
Wait a minute. Why would someone like Lisa end up with a lawyer?
We met through a friend's introduction, and it just happened that we got married.
Then Lisa, won't you introduce me to a rich lawyer guy too?
As if I'd introduce someone who's just after money and as irresponsible as Katura.
Irresponsible? I am very much responsible.
Without consulting us, you just went off and got a job. Living alone must have been so easy for you.
Compared to that, Katura stayed at home and was filial.
All you did was pamper that foolish girl with your silly faces.
Indeed. She can't do any household chores. A completely useless daughter-in-law.
Oh dear. Could you please refrain from criticizing your daughter-in-law?
I'm not. When she came to our house to greet us, she said she'd help but ended up breaking all the expensive dishes and was a huge nuisance.
Katura has always been pampered by our parents, so it's no surprise she can't do any household chores. They seem to have forgotten about the damages amid their own concerns.
Wait a minute. Are these damages for cheating?
To be precise, it's because you cheated while engaged and then unilaterally broke off the engagement and went incommunicado. Did you think you could just let such a serious matter naturally dissolve without any communication?
But we weren't married, so damages.
You and Lisa were in a state equivalent to being married, so you can indeed claim damages. By the way, you can claim damages up to 3 years after a divorce or breakup.
What? So, I have to pay Lisa damages?
Yes, you do. Glad you finally understand.
Lisa, Warren has no money right now. To say such a cruel thing. I didn't raise you to become a monster.
I also don't recall being coddled while growing up. But thanks to that, I developed independence. But Katura grew up spoiled and selfish without any growth.
Relying on your parents at such an age, and you managed to steal Lisa's fiancé, which might have been fine until your plan full of holes was a massive failure. Plus, living with overbearing parents who can let go. Fuck. Just imagining it gives me heartburn because it's so irritating.
That's not true. Mom and Dad love me.
It's tough hearing a 30-something say because like that.
What do you mean? I'm still young at 30-something.
Don't act like you're forever a young girl. And you, Warren, pay back the debt you made yourself.
Later, we'll also discuss the 15 million yen matter and take appropriate action.
What's wrong with using my parents' money?
Only parents have the right to use their own money. If they agree to buy something for you, that's one thing, but it's unthinkable to use 15 million yen without permission. It appeared that Katura, her parents, and Warren were all significantly in debt. However, there was absolutely no need for me to contribute financially.
Well, it's okay. Sooner or later, they'll realize they have to accept their situation whether they like it or not. I've heard your conversation right here, so don't even think about running away.
Lawyer, please do everything you can to handle this thoroughly.
Leave it to me. I'll make sure to recover the full amount from them.
Thank you. Please take care of it.
Well, you've really trapped yourselves now, haven't you?
Wait a minute. I can't pay the full amount.
I was practically deceived by Katura too. Come on, Lisa. I'm a victim just like Lisa. So please, spare me from the damages.
Please, Lisa, we've spent so much on Katura. We don't have any savings left. We're already blacklisted and can't borrow from anywhere.
I'm asking you too. You're our daughter. You should help your parents. Right. Katura spends without thinking, and honestly, we were troubled by it.
You spoiled her, so you can figure it out yourselves. And Warren? I have no intention of letting you off the hook.
If only you had properly discussed breaking up, things might have been different.
Well, meeting that stupid woman was pretty much the end of his life anyway, wasn't it?
Mom, how could you say that?
It's too late for any of you to come crying now. If you're an adult, you pay back the debts you've made yourself.
After being admonished by the lawyer Noah, the four of them put on what seemed like their last act of desperation.
Lisa, I'm really sorry. I admit you're cuter than me.
I apologize too. Let's all get along as a family from now on, shall we?
I'll praise Lisa's good points a lot. So please forgive us.
Let's start over again. Just once more, huh, Lisa?
You. Don't say stupid things in this situation. Get a grip.
I'm happily married to Noah, so there's no chance of reconciliation.
Well, that's how it is. Meeting me was the end of your luck. Adios.
Their last attempt to garner sympathy was spectacularly unsuccessful. Despite their insistence on wanting support, it was a huge inconvenience. The police, called by Noah, escorted them away. Noah began the formal legal proceedings. claiming damages from Warren for breaking off the engagement and demanding repayment of the 15 million yen from not just Warren but also his parents and Katura. They attempted to repay, but being blacklisted, they couldn't borrow from anywhere. In desperation, they borrowed a large sum from questionable sources. However, they managed to make the payments to Warren's mother and for my damages. Now, they faced the daunting task of repaying these new debts. With no home and on the run, Warren got fired for absenteeism, living a miserable life with no prospect of repaying the debt. As for me,
Wow. What beautiful weather today. Lisa, how about a walk in the park for a date?
that sounds lovely. It'll be nice and warm, won't it?
I'm happy we can spend some quality time together like this after so long. Whoa.
You're too much, Noah. You've been so busy lately, thank you for everything.
Just got butterflies in my stomach.
Stop. What are you saying now? Thus, Noah and I continued to live happily together. That day, seizing the opportunity of a rare leisure day, we went for a walk in the park as planned. Sitting on a bench, basking in the sun, we watched families playing happily. Recently, Noah has been bringing up the topic of children more often, so maybe it's time for us too. I wonder what kind of child we would have. The excitement and anticipation are feelings I can cherish because Noah is by my side. In my own way, I want to make Noah, who loves me, happy. I'm determined to do my best to build a happy home, doing what I can to contribute to our future. If you enjoyed this video, we'd be thrilled if you subscribed to our channel. Subscribing means you'll receive notifications for new videos, keeping you in the loop with all our latest content. Your support is vital to our growth. Let's enjoy and grow together.